Good morning. How are you today? Good to see you. You're looking good today. I see you took a shower, washed behind your ears, all of that. As you can see, it's a beautiful day where I am, and I am mid-workout. And I was just thinking about a few things, and I thought I'd stop and take a minute to talk to you. I had an interaction with a young guy this weekend, let's say 32, 33 years old. And this guy was, he had come to me, he's considering counseling, sort of being coaxed into it a bit by a very dear friend of his. And he said to me, Sven, listen, no offense, but I'm not a real big believer in therapy. And I said, well, I'll be honest with you, the way most therapists conduct therapy, I'm not a big believer in therapy either. We had a good little laugh over that. But he said, no, seriously, if I've resolved an issue, Sven, talked it out with the person or sort of resolved it in my own head, the last thing I want to do is go back and talk about it and conjure up all of those strong feelings, you know, the anger or whatever related to that event. And I had to laugh. He sort of made my point for me. Then I said to him, the simple fact that you say, if I go back and think about it, it conjures up feelings. It says that those feelings of anger or sadness or what have you are still in you. You didn't get the feelings out if merely talking about it brings those feelings back up. Right? I said, and the point of therapy is to get that charge, those feelings out of you. It's like every memory that we have is like a nucleus with the protons and electrons spinning around it. It's like every memory has an emotional charge to it. This is the memory, this is the emotional charge. Maybe it's anger, maybe it's sadness, maybe it's happiness, maybe it's whatever it is. And if I go back and think about it, then I feel that charge. Or if I have an experience in my present day that reminds me of that event, whether it was somebody breaking up with me or the kids laughing at me at school or what have you, it brings up that memory and with it, the emotional charge. And so the way to live without being forever sort of moved by or affected by every last going on in my life and the emotional charge that it brings to life is to decharge all of those past memories. It's to bring up the feelings of the past, to flush out the pain, the hurt, the anger, the sadness, the frustration, the bitterness, the lethargy, the disappointment, all of those feelings, to decharge the memories, to flush out the pain. Because what a great many people do, particularly if they're knocking on my door for counseling, no matter what level of success they've achieved, that there's a hole inside, there's an ache, there's a depression. Life has brought them to a grinding halt, and they've met a problem that they don't know how to overcome, despite an entire life overcoming problems. And so my job is to basically reach down their fucking throat, pull out the pain, but more importantly, pull out the belief system they have been taught about themselves or taught about life or taught about the world that is running their life even still. And that's a bit complex. We're not going to get into that aspect of it right now, but that's so much what my life's work is about. It's not just getting the pain out. It's looking at the core beliefs that you have been taught about yourself and about life and about the world. Because that's what's running your life like a virus running a motherfucking computer. And so this guy was basically saying, so I don't want to touch that shit because I don't want to feel those feelings again. Why would I do that? And the guy's young. He's young and he hasn't learned yet that stuff accumulates. And the accretion, the accumulation of those things over time causes life to become, even though we acquire more and more, and we're taught that if you just get more things and have more success and more fame and more money and greater titles, that it will make your pain and your problems go away and you'll just be happy. But the people who achieve the highest levels of success, or not even necessarily those, the people, I don't know, just whomever, they began to realize that all the success and happy things in the world don't make up for all the negative shit going on inside of me. And until I deal with that negative shit, no amount of happy shit is gonna make it go away. And so we have to pull that shit up and decharge those memories. We have to pull all that pain and flush it out, because it's almost as like, you know how banks used to have, and I don't know if they do anymore, but they used to have a night depository slot. If you owned a barber shop, if you owned a little store, you'd go there at night and you'd fill out your deposit slip with your money and you'd slip it in that night depository slot and close it, and then it was safe, right? Well, that's what a lot of people do with their real feelings. They don't feel it, they just fucking paper over it. I gotta go on, I gotta move forward, right? And so they spend their whole lives running, staying busy, doing more, acquiring more, trying to get more things to make them happy, so that, because if they stop, they know that that tidal wave of all their feelings will crash over them. And it'll just be more than they can handle. That's why this young guy doesn't want to fucking address his fucking feelings, because he knows it'll fucking overwhelm him. But again, he doesn't realize it until he gets it out of it. No amount of acquiring of other stuff is going to make that fucking pain go away. One of the things I tell people all the time is the single biggest mistake people make in trying to get happy is that they do more things that make them happy. They acquire more things that make them happy. And the reason that's the single biggest mistake is because that's only half the equation. And to explain it, the way I like to think of it is, imagine every single thing in life that makes you happy. Think of it not as making you happy, but think of it as breathing life into you, giving you energy. When I'm writing my books, I love writing. And so I can start writing, even though I'm a morning person, I have my best energy at 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning. If I do 8, 10, 14 hours of writing, by the end of the day, I have even more energy than I had in the morning, because the process of writing, it worked me over, but it gave me energy. It excites me. It's the same way with talking. It's the same way with lecturing. It's the same way with counseling. It's the same way when I'm speaking to a large group. It gives me energy. I'm jacked at the end, okay? Whereas if I'm working on things, you know, fixing things around the house or working on my car, that shit sucks the energy out of me. I neither like it nor I'm particularly good at it. Working on a computer, I want to blow my fucking brains out. All right? So if we think of all those things that give you energy as diamonds that you're holding in your hand, the biggest mistake people make is they add more diamonds, thinking that'll make me happier. And if I'm not happy, I just need more diamonds. And that's sort of the American dream. Just acquire more shit, then you'll be happier. But the problem with that equation is, what if you have giant sewage pipes dumping raw sewage onto you while you're holding your diamonds? And by raw sewage, I mean fat guy pubic hairs, I mean cigarette butts, half-eaten cans of cat food, fucking toilet waste, fucking you name it, dumping onto your head. I don't give a shit how many fucking diamonds you have in your head, in your hand. If you have raw sewage dumping onto you, and the raw sewage is the negative energy sources. If the diamonds are the things that breathe life into you, the raw sewage is the shit that's sucking the fucking life out of you. Relationships that are just draining you. Things in life, a job, a path, a geography, or whatever it might be that bleeds you, bores you, numbs you, something you have to conjure up energy just to go do, those are the negative energy sources. And what happens is, no matter how many fucking diamonds you have in your hand, no matter how many things you have in your life that breathe life into you, if you have that raw sewage dumping over onto your head, you gotta close your eyes and your mouth and your nose. It's like, oh, fuck. But you're trying to look at your diamonds so you'll be happy, and it's like, then you get that fucking sewage in your eyes, and you gotta breathe. So you get it up your nose, and you get it in your mouth, and then you can taste it, and eventually it doesn't matter how many diamonds and life-giving energy sources you have in your hands, all you can see, taste, touch, smell is a fucking raw sewage, is the negative energy sources. But here's the thing about negative energy sources, the things that suck the life out of you. You can turn all those off and just have like a garden hose going drip, 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 drip. But eventually it will accumulate. And eventually, yeah, you'll be able to see your diamonds a bit better, but it'll be clouded by the sewage. You'll still only smell the sewage. You still have that taste in your mouth of the fucking sewage, of the negative energy sources, that until we radically push back or utterly eliminate all the negative energy sources in our life, particularly, especially those within, until we do that, no matter how much happy stuff you get in your life, you'll still only be able to see, taste, touch, smell the raw sewage of your life, the negative energy source. It will forever be clouded. It will forever taint that which breathes life into you. And so that's how I think of gratitude lists. I'm all in favor of gratitude lists as a momentary, temporary sort of pick me up, a reminder of, wow, I do have X, Y, and Z that's good in my life. But the notion that is so espoused nowadays in our culture that if you just focus on gratitude and gratitude, more gratitude and gratitude, and just be thankful and gratitude and gratitude and gratitude, then you'll be happy. And then you'll attract even more good things into your life. And to me, I'm all in favor of gratitude, you know, as a momentary thing to sort of perk you up or remind you how good life is. But the notion that that is somehow the cure-all, that if I just focus on the happy, the diamonds, if I just focus on the happy, 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 more, then all the bad stuff will go away. Or it just won't matter anymore. And it's just the biggest crock of stupid fucking shit ever. I'm for gratitude lists, but the notion that they are some sort of permanent fix is just dumb. Because the shit is still in there, that vault of all your pain that you've been stuffing away, the anger and everything else is still there. And until you empty out that vault of all the crud, until you turn off the raw sewage, it's still fucking there. And you're just fucking trying to lie to yourself. You're just making shit up to try to make the pain go away. And why? Because you want to keep running. You don't want to deal with that tidal wave of all the shit from your past and all your beliefs that you have about yourself and all of your pain. None of us want to deal with that shit. It's hard and it hurts. But there are ways to do it that are expeditious and that are less painful than other ways. And I write about these in my book. I write about it in my last book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup. On my website, I also have one of the tabs is Do-It-Yourself Badass, which is all of my work, but in video courses. I also offer counseling. I do speaking gigs and so forth to make it more accessible to more people. But the bottom line is, until you get not only the pain out, but also get out, identify and get out the beliefs that you have about yourself and your life that are deleterious, that suck the life out of who you are. Until you get rid of those, you're still just running from that fucking wave. You're still just trying to wallpaper over all of the pain in your life. You're still trying to gratitude list your way to fucking happiness, and it doesn't work. The pain has to be addressed. The truths of who you've been and the bullshit lies you've been taught about yourself and about life have to be drawn out of you. The pain has to be dealt with. It's just fact. The sewage has to be fucking turned off. And just focusing on gratitude lists, while they're nice for a nice little temporary thing, are no form of fucking long-term fix whatsoever. They're just not. The soul has to grieve. The soul has to purge its fucking pain and its anger and everything else. So you can run and keep running, but I guarantee you, as a matter of absolute fact, that shit will stop your life short and force you to deal with it. And why? What comes after that? What comes after dealing with the pain and dealing with the past shit is you become one of those people who's finally light, who's finally happy, who's finally free, who finally has true aliveness, not forced aliveness, where they've purged it. You just become lighter. It just is. I did it in my own life, and I've been doing it in the lives of others for 25, 30 fucking years. And this shit works, not because it was written in some fucking book, because it's all fucking tested and proven, case after case after case after case after case. This shit works, but you have to have the courage to address the shit in your life. So that's today's news. I hope you're having a fucking kick-ass day. It's beautiful where I am. I hope it's beautiful where you are. I look forward to seeing you again soon, and Skål.